Today on the net, the sale of American arms to Taiwan angers Chinese web users. 1 week after the torrential rain in Peru, the web mobilizes to come to the victims' aid. The website, which specializes in leaking information, Wikileaks, could be closing up shop. Tensions between China and the United States are growing, particularly since the Pentagon announced an arms sale to Taiwan. A contract worth over $6 billion, which has annoyed Beijing and stirred up anger amongst Chinese net users. The Global Times website, an official newspaper, invites its readers to sign this online petition. The objective? To protest against selling arms to a rebel island, which China considers to be part of its territory. The petition has so far collected over 65,000 signatures. This blogger has looked over the companies involved in this transaction, which includes missiles, ships and helicopters. He calls for reprisal against those who are in China. On discussion forums, many web users have called for the United States to be sanctioned for its attitude, which they consider to be arrogant. A campaign to boycott American products, targeting fast food chains in particular, has also been launched online. Others, like this web user, ask the Chinese government to react by supplying arms to enemies of the United States, like Iran and North Korea. And if several bloggers accuse the Taiwanese of being traitors to the Chinese people, the majority of Chinese web users hope for a peaceful reunification. This song, broadcast online, encourages the Taiwanese people to return to their motherland. Over a week since the torrential rain and heavy flooding in southern Peru, which killed at least 20 people, the situation in the country remains critical. In fact, thousands of people have lost everything. The web tries to come to their aid. This web user has created an interactive map, which allows you to see the different areas affected by the floods and to get information on the number of victims in these regions. He also publishes on a regular basis photos of the victims of the bad weather taking refuge in makeshift camps. Others remind us that the victims currently have nothing. This blogger invites web users to show their solidarity with the Peruvian people by sending vital products as soon as possible. The appeal has also been relayed on social networks and notably Facebook. Despite these displays of solidarity, some criticize the organization and distribution of aid in the country. A head of a humanitarian group says here that the Peruvian government should show more transparency in their management of the crisis. And others, as we see here, claim that shopkeepers in the affected areas are taking advantage of food shortages to increase food and water prices. A situation, as this Twitter user highlights, which has pushed some to loot and steal. He appeals to the authorities to re-establish order as quickly as possible. The website Wikileaks, which specializes in the anonymous publication of sensitive documents, is temporarily closed due to lack of funds. From the Guantanamo interrogation manual to the thousands of messages sent by the people of New York on September the 11th, 2001, this collaborative website has been at the origin of many scoops over the past few years. Today, it launches an appeal for funding from web users so that they can continue the adventure whilst preserving their independence. Darth Vader on the toilet, Dr. Octopus is a fan of the Jonas Brothers, and even the Incredible Hulk walking his dog. The Canadian photographer Ian Poole has imagined superheroes in their everyday life. You can discover these original works on his website. Yonge Street, the main arterial street in Toronto, stretches out over 1,896 kilometres and is officially the world's longest road. For one day, two photographers travelled 42 kilometres along it and made this stop-motion video.